if you have pain in your shoulders or frozen shoulder syndrome as they call it, I'd like to teach you 4 exercises that you can do to help relieve the pain, free up your shoulders, and prevent frozen shoulder syndrome from coming back. I'm Coach Todd with FeelGoodLife.com, where we teach people over 50 how to get healthy, pain-free joints. In today's video, I want to teach you 4 simple but powerful exercises to help you relieve frozen shoulder syndrome. You see, a lot of people just teach basic stretches to help create some mobility and free up the shoulders a little bit, but if you're not creating strength inside the shoulder, then oftentimes frozen shoulder syndrome starts to come back again. So it's a combination of strength and mobility, and these 4 exercises incorporate each of that. So let's go ahead and get started. The first exercise that I want to teach you is shoulder rolls. And so that basically, look at it like warming up the shoulders while you move up to a little bit more difficult exercises. And I'm going to teach you some modifications if they're too difficult for you. So shoulder rolls, you can do both shoulders at the same time. And what you want to do is you want to start rolling or contracting your shoulder blades together to pull your shoulders back. And then you start lifting your shoulders up, pulling them forward and releasing them down. Now, if you have frozen shoulder syndrome, you might not get a whole lot of range of motion in this, and that's perfectly fine. You want to go within your range of motion. You don't want to force it, because what that's going to do is that's going to create more injury inside the shoulder, and then your shoulders are going to try to protect itself. It's going to send more inflammation, and it's just the cycle that is really hard to get out of. So you want to move within the range of motion that you have and allow your body to release those shoulders so that you can increase the range of motion. So you want to go first 10 times one direction clockwise, and then 10 times counterclockwise. Again, this is just loosening up those shoulders and preparing your shoulders to release that tension, increase that range of motion, and improve mobility. So that first exercise is called shoulder rolls. The next one is called hanging oscillation. So what I typically like to recommend is you can use a soup can. This is just a black bean soup can. You could use a lightweight, say 2.5, 5 pounds. You don't want to use too heavy, but you'll need, say, the back of a chair or a stool just like this. You want to bend over so your spine is neutral. You don't want to slouch over just like this. You want to keep that back nice and straight. And then holding that, say my right shoulder has that frozen shoulder syndrome, I'm going to take that can of beans or soup or whatever it is and just start swinging slightly my arm in a circular motion. So I'm not moving my arm like this. I'm not using my shoulder muscles to move my arm. I'm allowing the weight from the soup can to distract. It's called distraction. It's essentially this very slight separation of the shoulder joint from the joint capsule. So it's getting a nice little stretch of those ligaments inside the shoulder. So you just allow your body, you can use your little bit of momentum for your body to swing that arm. It doesn't need to be a very large motion. You're just trying to get a little bit of a stretch of that ligament inside the shoulder. And then once you go 10 times one direction, you go 10 times the other direction. Just like this. It's really important to allow your arm to hang loosely and not force your arm to do the circles. That's more of an exercise. This is more of a ligament stretch to help free up from frozen shoulder. Okay, so the next exercise is called goalposts back and forth. So you can put your soup can down. This is a great one to loosen up the internal and external rotators. Right, again, maybe something happened, an injury, something happened where your shoulders start to tighten up and they freeze. And so this one, the goalpost back and forth, will help to loosen that up. So what you want to do is get your elbows up. You can stand against a wall and put your elbows up as high as you can. Now, high as you can within your range of motion. You want to force your elbows up to 90 degrees. If you can only go this far because you're frozen shoulder, that's perfectly fine. But I'm going to do it for demonstration purposes. I'll be up at a 90-degree angle. Now what you're going to do is try to keep that elbow in that same spot. Don't let it fall down, but you're going to externally rotate or lift your hands up. And if you can, touch the back of that wall. That'll be a good goal for you. And then rotate back down. Rotate up, rotate down. This is a slow movement. I'm not in a race to get it done. Just allowing my arms to rotate. Another tip is to not allow your shoulders to come up to your ears. Right, that's gonna tense up your shoulders even more. Just keep them nice and loose and relaxed. You're gonna wanna do it 10 times. You'll notice, right, these 4 exercises get harder and harder. So now we're working on the strength portion. We're still improving mobility, helping to release the frozen shoulder, but we're also incorporating some strength. And that's important. So you're gonna do that 10 times, try to go within your full range of motion, and then each time you do that, say on day 1, you can only move your elbows up here. Day 2, you can move it just a little bit more. By the end of the week, maybe you're a little bit higher. Week 2, you're up higher, and maybe by that 4th week, you're doing a full range of motion and your shoulders are feeling good. If you're feeling pain, go ahead and back off. Just do a slight range of motion. So whenever you're feeling pain with an exercise or a stretch or mobility exercise, just release the range of motion and go smaller. So last exercise for frozen shoulder is wall angels. What you're gonna do is stand against a wall. I'm in our RV, so I could go against the wall, but then my head would be hitting this. So you wanna go ahead and get against a wall, an open wall that you have available, and point your thumbs outwards towards the opposite ends, just like this. And you're gonna bring your arms up to parallel the ground, then down, then up, and down. So just like with that last exercise, it's important to keep your shoulders down. Don't let your shoulders come up like this, because then you're gonna be tensing up your neck. That's not gonna be good. So let your shoulders relax as you come up. Again, if you can only come up to here, because that frozen shoulder, that's perfectly fine. Work within your range of motion, 10 times. And maybe on day 2, you can go a little bit further. Day 3, you're going up. And maybe by the end of the week, you're up to here. So those wall angels are a great exercise to incorporate mobility in the flexion and extension of your shoulder. So really all 4 exercises is to help increase the mobility throughout all the range of motion within your shoulder. So hopefully those exercises will help you. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. And welcome to Feel Good Life. If you enjoy these videos, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and you'll be alerted every time we release a new video. So thanks so much for joining me and these exercises to help relieve frozen shoulder syndrome.